Hello and welcome to the Galaxy Cup final on Forge Alliance Forever. The two finalists are Adjux and Nexus. Both players gone Seraphim, not sure why you would go Seraphim specifically on this map. I guess someone picked Seraphim, and then the other guy thought, let's just play a mirror matchup because people like mirror matchups in tournaments. They don't like to get wrecked by some factional advantage. They'd rather just, well, a lot of players would rather just play out the game and just see who's better with the same units afforded to each of them. And both these players like Seraphim. Definitely, probably their most played faction for both these guys. So it's reasonable for some Seraphim action. Zlo has some stuff to say about the game. Same faction, same playstyle, same colors. So first engineer assist the ACU. You can see Adjux, same thing. First engineer assist, second engineer grabbing these rocks. So the map, I'm gonna slow it down a little bit to start to explain the map. It is the Rose's Sanctuary 10x10 map. So not massive, just a normal 10x10 size map. And the not so normal part is these massive amounts of mass reclaim, 175 in each of these groups of rocks. It's not single rocks, it's actually it's a group of rocks that you reclaim, like a group of trees. And there's a ton of mass. We zoom out, you can see the labels give us 142,564. So some of it's already gone. See Nexus using an attack move to grab them from distance. And Adjux doing a bit of manual reclaim. So basically grabbing like 4 of these chunks will fill your storage at the start of the game. So you only have 760. Well, you probably need like 5 of them maybe. I'm not gonna do the math, but you only need a few chunks to fill your storage. So most of this mass is gonna go into P-gens at the start. You're not gonna build any mass extractors because you need all the power you can get to build P-gens and factories. Nexus can wait because you have all this reclaim. Similar to the other map with the ridiculous amounts of reclaim, the ditch. So Nex has 3 engineers now. He has grabbed a mech. He'll probably start upgrading that pretty soon, I bet. Most of his build power going on engineers. So normally, you know, second air, normal map, you might make 8 P-gens for second air. Might make 7. You might make 5 if you have some tree reclaim. You might make 10 P-gens if you want to rush a transport. Nexus, however, because he has so much mass, he's going to make 14 P-gens before he makes his air factory, and then he's probably going to make, inties and scouts. And he's going to finish building his mexes, his core mexes, and he's already upgrading one here. He's probably going to upgrade more. He has plenty of power in the bank, actually. So Adjux delaying mexes a bit more, and looks like his air factory and his air has gone up a bit faster, and he actually has a lot of assist on his air factory. He's gone for 2 interceptors, a scout leading the way, and a bomber coming later. Bomber now followed by a transport, a lot of assist. Very nice use of his power here. He still has some in the bank, but it looks pretty good. And Nexus could be in trouble. Now the inties meet near Nexus base. Who's going to win the fight? Well, Adjux just dominates the fight. I think it's finished off. The bomber moving north for Adjux, and Adjux is loading his transport with 8 engineers. Completely full transport for the Seraphim, and he's going to be able to build a base very quickly. A lot of reclaim to secure here. 7 mexes, and quite defensible, and a good point of good place to build a base and get a bit closer, a lot closer to your opponent's base. You're basically a straight line to the base. And Adjux is, as a single inti, doing a lot of damage to Nexus's transport. You can see the micro back and forth trying to get in behind the transport. And the transport trying to survive, but now it's on very low HP. He actually needs to, well, he could try and repair that transport. That would be an option. There's a bomber coming in now. And he's going to drop right on the anti-air. Oh. Absolutely brutal bomber. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kills, maybe even more. And Inti comes in and finishes off the transport. Another transport in production. Just finished now, but look at Adjux. Throwing up this base here. Let's see what he's like. Yeah, he's gonna run out of power. But actually needs more mass. Is low. Drops the crushed in the chat. And it's very appropriate. All of these engineers killed. The transport killed. Adjux gets a free drop to the top. Like, that's very, very good from Adjux. What a start. And somehow this Mex isn't finished. Maybe he paused it. Needed some power. You can see so much build power on making these P-gens. We're probably going to need to see some T2 shortly. In the next minute it'll probably be started to get those T2 P-gens up. And Nexus drops just 5 engineers to build this base. So this base is going to be a lot more, well, a lot weaker. You can see Adjux already has 5 factories, 6 factories up here. Built several of the mexes. He's got engineers reclaiming in all the areas. And Adjux, meanwhile, has made a counter drop to this location. Only 4 engineers, and it looks like he's been spotted by some tanks that will move in. But Adjux has quite a lot of tanks coming this way, so the engineers are under threat. 2 factories up, third one will be finished shortly. And Nexus starts T2 air. Adjux has already started T2 air. Actually finished it. Look at that. That's quite quick. Now you can see there's a lot of the map has not been touched at all yet. One of the things about having so much reclaim is you don't really need to leave your base for a while. So you still have so much reclaim in the base, but spread out across the map, in the middle of the map, all along the sides here, huge more amounts of reclaim to be grabbed. And in middle, there's some T2 P-gens to be reclaimed or even captured. Probably not a good idea to capture them. But also mexes, some buildings, and quite a few mexes spread out to be grabbed. But mostly it's about the reclaim that's all over the map. So we're going to see a lot of T1 units spammed. We're going to see a pretty quick switch to T2 and T3, but there's going to be a lot of units everywhere trying to control the areas so that these guys can grab the reclaim from them. And Adjux has a lot of tanks coming out of his base. And quite a few coming out of the top base here. Not too many Zooies. Maybe he could do it more Zooies, but I think we're going to see... Yeah, there we go. There's T2 factory coming along for land, and he's probably going to make T2 land and make T3 land pretty quick afterwards. Because there is so much mass. Having big power problems now. Actually, Nexus ahead on power, so Adjux really didn't build many T1 P-gens for the map that this is. Sort of skimped on them, and I think it's kind of hurting him now. He should have maybe had a few more T1 P-gens because his T2 P-gen wasn't insanely fast. Nexus now, see, he has a lot more, about 20 more T1 P-gens. Has his T2 P-gen up now. Only 4 T2 Mexes. The rest in the base are going up, and he has a severe lack of units, it seems. Has he started his T2 land? Oh, he hasn't finished. So, will we see a lot of Ilshis? Well, he's actually struggling for mass. He's having problems getting access to reclaim. He can't get to this stuff here, or along the side of his base. Look at all these tanks coming into the back of his base now that he has to react to. Should maybe draft the commander in. And a real lack of vision for Nexus, having to use air scouts to try and see what's happening. Getting raided a bit at the bottom. And all the pressure's coming from Adjux. Looks very good for him now. All stemming from that very, very strong start that Adjux had. And this is the problem with mirror matchups. Both players are doing essentially the same thing, but Adjux basically has a head start because of his better build. And so we have gunships, Vultus here, and now we have Vultus from Adjux as well. Neither player making too much air. Mostly attacking air rather than defensive air. And third P-gen going up, protected by a shield. And let's look at the economy right now. Nexus, much smaller economy. It's actually far smaller. 30 mass, even more now. Well, it's about 30 mass behind per tick. Nexus on 55. And 10,000 total mass more for Adjux. Adjux also 11,000 ahead on reclaim. So he's just doing far better in all aspects. And I don't know where Nexus comes back in this game. Needs to try something, but I'm not sure what at this point. It still has just far less units and far less mass, far less map control. We have about 8k in army here, and about half that for Nexus. Almost no Zuis, less T1 tanks, only 2 Ilshis. And it just gets tougher for Nexus as the game goes on. One thing about Adjux, you'll see in so many tournament games, Adjux just has better build orders than his opponent. He really nails it when the tourneys roll around. And it's happened again. And Nexus is getting dominated. Interesting that they both went for that inti rush across the map. I guess because of the map that it is, you build a lot more power before the air factory. So I guess that leaves room for the inti to rush across the map. And it makes you vulnerable to those inti rushes. Zlo saying there's very little chance of a comeback because of mirrored factions. I think there's very little chance of a comeback because Adjux is way ahead. Well, I suppose the mirrored factions doesn't help too much. These Vultus just destroying everything. Shrugging off some inti fire. You can see a lot. It takes quite a while to take them out. They have more HP. They cost a bit more, do more damage. T2 mech's gonna go down. Adjux just doing some raiding, maybe a bit of a waste of the gunships, but actually they are surviving quite long. But now a flak is out, and that should mean the end of that raid. And the T2 mechs did not die. Got some wasted damage on factories and such. The T1 army for Adjux now from the top side, getting almost into Nexus's base. I mean, this is really not good. And there's even flags here now to stop the gunships from holding this off. Some reclaim being donated, but it's really small on the whole. And Adjux has 66,000 reclaim. Now we can see the power of having all this map control. You can see he's just cleaned all of this side here. Cleaned up here. Cleaned all of this. The front of his base. He still has a lot of this to grab, but you can see going to be sending engineers there soon. So his attack does get pushed off. He leaves quite a few wrecks. Actually, are those Ilshis or are those gunships perhaps? They might be gunships for Nexus. And wow. Sneaky by Adjux. Oh, he's gonna go after T2 Pigeons. He's actually gonna kill them now. That is disgusting. He's gonna get at least one Pigeon with these sneaky gunships. And maybe he gets another one as well. And now this army is buttressed with Ilshevo. And it can get the whole way to the base, no doubt. The Pigeon just barely survives. Nexus starts reclaiming it so that it wouldn't explode if it gets killed, but now he needs to stop reclaiming it because he needs the power. Uh-oh. Oh well. He sees this army at the gates and decides that that's fucked. And the army down here as well is certainly stronger than what he has. Control Ks with a little nice BO. And yeah, Adjux already had 2 T3 mexes, probably working on, yeah, this one's almost finished. Nexus, meanwhile, very little storage, 1 T3 mex. And yeah, just well behind in this game, so very well played by Adjux there. And we'll see what Nexus can do in the next game, because this is a best of 5 final. So it's by no means over, but a very good start for Adjux. I'm going to quickly move into the second game. And the map for the second game is, I believe, Surfing Glaciers. Yes, so bigger map this time, 20x20. And this is a transport map, meaning you gotta make a transport very early on to expand and get your half of the map. And eventually turns into a naval map, probably at some point. But there's a lot of ways this map can go. Air, land, navy, all play their part. And the size of the map means it can sometimes go very long into the late game. Generally things like air with drops and gunships and navy, T2 navy generally end the game on this map. So the build order will be not quite the same as on the previous map. We're gonna have less P-gens. See, he's gonna make about 10 and then transport. Or maybe he'll make a couple air units before the transport. So first 2 engineers gonna expand and get reclaim. See this guy rushing for this reclaim because he does not want to stall. But his mechs are going to be kind of slow because he's reclaiming with both of these engineers. Third engineer assists, and then we're going to have probably the next engineer will expand with these two. Generally, you expand with 3 engineers in this map. Nexus shit BO kinda. Yeah, I kind of agree. We look at Adjux, actually delaying mechs more. And he's well ahead on power already. Already more than 1 PGen ahead, Adjux is. But Nexus is adding more build power, and we see 3 engineers moving across, and he sort of skips mexes to get reclaim faster and to save on power at the start. So he needs that power. He's gonna make, how many pigeons is he going to make before this air factory? He's gonna make 12. Weird BO. It says low. Double fac after many pigeons. Well, let's see. I'm always interested in Adjux BOs in tournaments. So let's see what this turns out like. He makes more pigeons before the first factory, but after the first factory he immediately makes a second one. Now I definitely have not, I don't remember seeing this. So let's see. He has about 2k in the bank, and he's actually not gonna, probably is gonna stall here. Looks like a stall. I think he'll just pause his assisting engineers or move them away from his factory, or not. So he goes for the transport first. Nexus is on the move with his inties. You can see he has more mass in the bank, not much power. And he's going for the inti rush. The transport. Now one of the worst things as Seraphim is the loading for the Seraphim transport. It's extremely slow. And that might give Nexus a chance, and yes, he does spot it. Where's the inti? Well, he's all the way back here. Why is the inti back here? It should be, I thought it was further across the map when I looked previously. Maybe I should be in observer mode. I'm sure that inti was further across the map, or should have been at least. And where's his transport? Well, he's changed his mind. Instead of going for his transport, he's gone for a bomber to try and attack Nexus's or Adjux's drop. And Adjux also sending a bomber out of the base, maybe towards mid. Some attempted micro. And he is going to kill the inti. Now he needs to... That was a good kill on the interceptor. Didn't lose his inti. Now he's going to have to try and kill the transport. But it's dropped all its cargo. So this should be safe, but the bomber is coming. Nexus only now loading his transport, and he's actually going to contest the island. I like that. That is very good. Now that he also has brought a tank with him. I think that's really good, actually. Much better than dropping the left side. He's being aggressive. There's no point in sending the bomber here to do damage. This is how you really take advantage of that bomber. So the factory goes up, and maybe a second one will go up, but the bomber got 3 kills now. And a 4th, no dodge. Oh, will the second factory be finished? I think Nexus needs to drop directly on top of this. Just drop directly on top of these. Oh, did he ground fire? He didn't even need to. He got both engineers here. There's only 1 factory complete, and there's an anti-air coming out of the factory. Now 2 bombers from Adjux on the left side, and he's looking, searching for some units to kill. Is there a transport coming for Adjux? There is. He's only now started it. And Nexus already has a second transport. That's very good. He can move to the left now. Now he didn't go to drop on the factory, but I think with this amount of build power he should still easily be able to take the island. You can see using most of the build power to get factories, and now one engineer is going to do the nice job of grabbing all of this juicy reclaim. There's a lot of reclaim here that will boost you a lot early on. It's important to grab it. He's going to use some manual reclaim, and the tank coming forward is going to stop the second factory from being complete, and that's very nice. So looking good for Adjux. Looking very good. Or not Adjux, for Nexus I should say. But Adjux is going to have his own drop to the left side. And actually has his own bomber here doing damage, but I don't think it's going to be too important. With 3 facts already built, tanks across there. It's all Nexuses. So if Nexus can also contest this at least for a long time and do some damage, he also brought a tank here. Very nice move. Then, oh no. 3 NGs right on top of each other. No split. These guys got split, but the rest of them didn't. Factory gets complete, however, and these NGs are landing as a tank comes towards them. This game is going so quickly. There's so much going on. All the engineers have been bombed, but there's anti-airs out now. And actually, Adjux got some tanks out. Engineer goes down. The anti-air may take care of... Nope. Nope. And now Adjux in a good position on the left side. Who is going to get the middle? There's 8. Oh, that's a dead engineer, it seems. Oh no, a dead scout maybe. Dead air scout. Yeah, who's going to get the middle? Who's going to drop that first? There's 8 mexes here and a hydrocarbon, and it's hard to take back once you get it. So, the funniest thing though, there's just no mexes taken on any of these islands. There's a single one here, and the rest are uncaptured. This bomber got a vet, and it's that helped it survive. And getting in some nice kills. Another transport moving to the left, and it looks like Nexus has air control now, and he's eventually going to kill this, but he's getting blocked by a factory, which is no good for him. He will eventually kill this in the next minute or two. He needs to reinforce this left side because Adjux has 4 factories and a lot of build power here. Zlow's getting into it. We have two mexes upgraded for Nexus already. Had them a while, and Adjux meanwhile has no economy. Let's actually pause some mexes that we're upgrading. Oh, this bomber is coming back to find these engineers. As soon as they land, there's going to be a bomb with their name on it. Oh, run, little guy. Oh. Great use of the bomber there. Had the air scout in the area. Very nice. And the bottom island is secured for Adjux. That's it. He has that, and we have a normal-ish split. Fine, says Nexus. Yep, you can have it. I give up. He's not going to get the left island. So, we have left and right, and Adjux now dropping the middle. And that's bad for Nexus. That's very bad for Nexus. He's going to have to do something to take this back very, very quickly. Or he's not. It's going to be difficult to take it back. So some units, maybe drop some Zooies across here. Well, he's bringing his air to mid. And he's going to... Well, he just somehow split directly past these inties that could easily be killed. That was magical. And yeah, it looks like he's not going to take the mid. Nexus is not going to be able to take it. Now getting some navy up, but actually Adjux already has a frigate here at his base, and there's a lot of stuff that could be attacked here. Probably need some Zooies. Does Nexus see this mid base? Does he only? I wonder when he saw that. Oh, he finds Adjux's air, and he could actually go after that. And he does turn, and I'm at -1. Haha. Oops. Well, he's gonna clean up Adjux's air, and that's very nice, or at least quite a lot of it. Adjux has a lot of tanks and Zooies on the left side, and I suspect they're not gonna stay hanging around on this island. It's gonna be transports coming. We have an idle one here. And yeah, there it goes down to the bottom island. Gonna look for some units to pick up. Nexus thinking the exact same thing. Look at all these drop markers everywhere. Oh yes, I think he was going towards mid with this and then saw a rather large base there. So Nexus has more T2 mexes, but I mean in terms of eco, he's far behind now. 30 mass. Adjux is just finishing off all the mexes in middle. And that's going to be 8 mexes, 16 mass. 16 mass. Oh, the PD. It's just been finished. But it actually might die instantly. And it does. Nice. That went quite well. So there's going to be damage done here. And being Seraphim, Adjux cannot make some labs to try and out of this factory to try and deal with that. Nexus only now taking this right island again. A bit slow taking some of his mexes. He took a bit of damage here as well. This frigate got 7 kills, killing P-gens and a mex. And here comes a drop. Now, actually, I want to see what Nexus can see here. Oh, he has all these T2 mexes spread out on his main island, and there's no hope of him seeing drops coming. He only has 1 T1 radar over here. The drops are going to come from the left, because that's where Adjux's island is, or from middle. It's not going to get dropped down here, most likely, and it looks like these Zooies are going to get some kills on some juicy mexes. 8 Zooies on board there. But Nexus has dropped it a lot of damage. Very nice play by him. And he actually drops engineers now to try and steal what Adjux has claimed. There goes the T2 mex in a flash. And the reclaim goes with it. These T1 mexes can actually be raided by frigates. So careful when you decide to upgrade those to T2. And look at this. Where's the reaction? Here it is. T1 bomber coming. But he's gonna lose 2, 3. He could lose 4 or 5 T2 mexes from that tiny drop. On the other side though, he's got a kill of his own. That's only a T1 mex, I believe, but this one should die. What are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? What the actual fuck is that? And now a bomber is gonna bomb them. RIP. Oh, will they get the kill? They do. Even though they're doing some little dance instead of shooting, they still got the kill because they're just that good. Nexus has lost 2 T2 mexes. He's gonna lose a 3rd now from that drop, and Zooies just walk across this. And there were only mexes here, no defenses or factories or anything else. So it quickly died, and torpedo bombers trying to kill some frigates that are being annoying. Looks like there's another little Zooie party coming for this island. Nexus doing well here, honestly, to take over this island and take the mass, take the reclaim, and he's done some damage of his own. There's a lot more Zooies coming for him, and his bombers need to be quick on hand to stop this. Frigates are going down. And more Zuis are arriving. The naval factory won't survive. The torp defense probably won't survive very long either. Zlo says by the time bombers fly to the other side of the island, shit will die, and he is very correct. There goes 4 P-gens. That hurts. T2 mechs may also die. Oh, the bombers are targeting something else. He can't see these. No radar. No wind. And now they're even dodging. This is very sad for Nexus. And his ACU has moved all the way over here to try and stop Zui drops and stuff. And when he does that, well, they just drop somewhere else. Okay, there they go, but they've killed the T2 mechs. They killed build power. And there's more Zuis here. More Zuis dropped here. Nexus ACU is not in position. And the drops are doing a lot of damage. These Zui drops are just so disgusting. And they're only T1 drops. No T2 transports at all. Just T1 transports. And Nexus lost most of his island. His base. Most of his island. And most of his small island here on the right. Doing a little bit of damage. In middle. Not much though. Now trying to do what Adjux just did, but Adjux has his power under shield. Doesn't have T2 mechs nearby to kill. And he also has frigates. Adjux has frigates in the area. So it's gonna be less effective. Look at this. Just T1 drops. That's all. That's all that did this. T1 drops and walking Zuis across the water. Another Zui drop is gonna land. And Adjux is just having a field day. There's plenty more ammo to throw. T2 Pigeon, T2 radar goes up just in time to see Zui's in his base. Nexus can't see what's going on in the base. Can't see the shield, and actually, oh, look at that, he's repairing the shield. That is extremely expensive. I would... Very expensive to do that. Which is why he has absolutely no mass. But he kept his power alive. Zui's going down to T1 bombers. Right now, let's just take a look at the economy. Well, it's dead even, in fact. Oh. It's like a bit of an air fight, and Nexus got him behind. And he's microing well. Adjux has got caught there. But still, quite even. Nexus has actually lost fuel in a lot of his indies. Adjux has another group of indies here. I think Adjux may be taking air very soon with all of this production. I think Adjux will be taking air. And look at this. Well, there's quite a lot going on in this base. We got some a lot of T2 mechs. What the fuck? Well, I mean, I should know that it's Nexus, so he has full T2 mechs in his expansion, while his main base is almost completely annihilated by drops. And he already had T2 mechs there, and they died. All of his power is dead. All he's got left is his HQ, a T2 mechs. And a T2 P-Gen. And his commander. On his expansion he has T2 P-Gen, full T2 mechs, T2 Air Factory making T2 transports. And he has quite a few Zuis to drop. But, well, he doesn't have build power, no navy, no map control, and he just lost all of his air. Adjux did quickly take air control there. And now he's going to just camp over this this base. He's only now seeing how much economy is here. And There's quite a lot, and just as the transport is filling, all these inties are coming to take it out. Need some static flak maybe, because we don't have T2 land. That's the only thing that would keep away the inties. Just Nexus base just looks too sad. We won't look at it anymore. This is quite sad as well though. The T2 drop planned for so long is not come off. And now there's T2 transports of his own for Adjux. So things are going to get even worse for Nexus, I feel like. But still, in economy, Nexus has more total mass. After all that, can you actually believe that Nexus has more total mass? He had less map control the entire game. Lost many T2 mexes. Lost most of his base. I guess reclaiming his base is going to help him get more total mass. It's a bit deceptive, I guess. When your stuff keeps dying, you tend to have more reclaim. Funny how that works. At least when it's killed in your base. Or when it is your base being killed. So let's see if Nexus can do anything here. He would need some monster drops to come back from this. And kind of interesting that nobody's really gone for Navy. I feel like Seraphim cruisers could be very deadly. I mean, you get one cruiser out for, say, for Adjux it would be. I think he would go for that. He just has this entire island to hit from back here, and he's gonna kill these mexes. Like 30 seconds, he'll kill 5 of them. Like, and there are no defenses, so I feel like T2 Navy would be really nice. And there it is. Not much assist on that, but he's going for it. Could probably do it. Killing this power and reclaiming it. This is a nice template because it doesn't waste any reclaim if you just control K the whole thing. The P-gens don't damage the wrecks. The wreckages, leaving less mass. Bit of a tank drop here. Engineers soon to follow, no doubt. Still fighting over these small islands. Gunship tries to take this out. Nexus has this all the while for free, and he even has T2 mexes in middle. And he has T2 mexes in the bottom side. Just, yeah, it looks very, very good for Adjux now. 147 mass per tick. Total air control. Gunships moving around. Probably doesn't even need to make inties anymore. Oh, we have more. Is this a T2 drop? And the T2 Air HQ is dead. The T2 Pigeon is dead. And all that is left on this island is T1 mexes. Oh no, we still have some T2 mexes. But just T1 everything else. T1 ACU, T1 engineers, tanks. Single T2 engineer. And now gunships move in to take out the economy. Nexus has a T3 mex. What the fuck, man? Why? Why? This is so mad. The Nexus just keeps making economy, and Adjux just keeps killing it. And maintains more map control as well. Adjux just being constantly aggressive in all areas, and I'm still on -1 somehow. I'm sure I put it back up. Yep, what will we do, guys? Let's just upgrade more mexes again. He probably has too much mass, you know, that's probably what's happening. Yeah, he has 1500 mass in the bank, so so we'll upgrade more mexes. Oh, he had another T3 mex as well, of course he did. But T2 drops come in, and finally he calls it a day. He lost a lot of eco here, and both these drops landed, and he has no defenses. It's no defenses versus him. What did he think Adjux was gonna do? I mean, make some, get a couple T2PDs down maybe. Because he obviously can't defend with air. Adjux has total air control. I mean, the game is pretty over. Adjux would have to throw pretty hard, I think, to lose it. But I guess Nexus could have some T2PD. He's gonna make all that eco. He could probably do with some static defenses. But great game from Adjux. Very well played. Great early game. Back and forth between fighting over both of these larger expansion islands. The bombers, the bomber from Adjux sealing his win of this bottom left island, which was very important because Nexus had done extremely well to bomb Adjux's NGs and get many of his own, and even a tank on board that transport to take the top right. So Adjux just survived that early game, honestly. Nexus looked like he could have got the upper hand, but then Adjux sealed this and got the middle, and I think from there it was very difficult for Nexus, and he had less map control. And then he just took absurd amounts of damage. And these Zooies in T1 transports. Just constant back and forth, constant drops, doing damage, killing T2 mexes. See, his whole base is pretty much dead now. So well played from Adjux and Nexus. And tune in next time for the rest of this final. This is the first two games. We end this video with Adjux 2-0 up versus Nexus in a best of 5. Probably many of you know the result, but many of you don't, I would guess, and you'll have to tune in next time to see if Nexus can come back from a 2-0 deficit and make a real good final of it. So tune in for that. I will see you then, and thanks for watching.